Okay, let's start with this first problem. If x minus 1 divided by 3 equals k, and k equals 3, what is the value of x? Okay, let's go ahead and substitute 3 in for k. We get x minus 1 over 3 is equal to 3. And then if we solve for x, multiply 3 on both sides, x minus 1 equals 9. And then adding 1, we get x is equal to 10. It's D. Okay, for second problem, we have I equals the square root of negative 1. What is the sum of 7 plus 3i plus negative 8 plus 9i? So for this problem, all we have to do is combine like terms. There's really nothing else to it. So we're going to get a 7 plus a negative 8, and then we're going to get a 3i plus a 9i. So that'll give us a negative 1 plus 12i as the answer A. On Saturday afternoon, Armand sent M text messages each hour for 5 hours, so that gives us 5 hours times N text messages, and Tyrone sent P text messages each hour for 4 hours. So the and is a addition, and he sent P for 4 hours, so 4 hours times P, so that'll give us answer C. Okay, 4. Kathy is a repair technician for a phone company. Each week she receives a batch of phones that need repairs. The number of phones that she has left to fix at the end of each day can be estimated with the equation P equals 108 minus 23D, where P is the number of phones left and D is the number of days she has worked that week. What is the meaning of the value 108 in this equation? Okay, so P is the number of phones left, and D is the number of days. So a factor of 23 times D is the number of phones she can complete per day. So 108 must be that she starts with 108 each week. Okay, which of the following is equivalent to the expression above? Okay, so let's just eliminate like terms here. Just have to keep in mind this negative sign here, because that's going to make this a positive, this a negative, and then this a positive. So your x squared y term plus another x squared y term, that's going to give you 2x squared y. And then your negative 3y, those are going to cancel out entirely. And then you're just going to be left with 5xy squared minus 3xy squared. So that's going to be a 2xy squared. So that'll be answer C. A pediatrician uses the model above to estimate the length h of a boy. In inches, in terms of the boy's age A, in years between the ages of 2 and 5, based on the model, what is the estimated increase in inches of a boy's height each year? Well, we're starting at 28.6 inches at age 2, and then we're just going to add, for each year that he gets older, a value of 3, because for the first one we'll get 28.6 plus 6, and then 28.6 plus 9. Yeah, so it's going to be A3. The formula above gives the monthly payment M needed to pay off loan P. Which of the following gives P in terms of M, R, and N? Okay, so we're just going to have to rearrange this equation for P, and we know that we're just going to be multiplying this denominator by M. And if we look, let's see if that's all we need to know here. Yeah, the only answer can be B, so we can go ahead and move on from that. Okay, so if A over B equals 2, what is the value of 4B over A? So just asking for the inverse of A over B. So we know that A over B equals 2, then B over A, because 2 over 1 is going to equal 1 over 2. So 4 times B over A is just equivalent to 4 times 1/2, which equals 2. So answer C. What is the solution xy to the system of equations above? Okay, so there's a bunch of different ways you can do this. You can do a substitution, or you can just do an elimination. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just do an elimination by multiplying the second equation by negative 2, because that'll give us a negative 4y, and those terms will cancel. So if we do that, we're going to get negative 4y minus plus, actually, 2x equals 38. And then let's bring the next equation down, and let's rearrange the terms so they line up together so we can see it a little better. So we're going to get, what is that? 4y plus 3x equals negative 23. Okay, these cancel out. You get 5x is equal to 15, x equals 3. And the only answer here with an x coordinate of 3 is B, so it has to be B. Okay, number 10. g of x is equal to ax squared plus 24, where a is a constant and g of 4 equals 8. What is the value of g of negative 4? Okay, so it's going to be the same answer, just because if you plug in 4 for x, you get a times 4 squared. And if you plug in negative 4, you get a negative 4 squared. And these will equal each other, because negative 4 squared is 16 and 4 squared is 16. So both of these would equal 16a. So the answer would also be 8. Okay, and the equations above, B and C, represent the price per pound in dollars of beef and chicken, respectively, X weeks after July 1st during last summer. What was the price per pound of beef when it was equal to the price per pound of chicken? Okay, so let's set these equations equal to each other, since we want to know when they were the same. So 0.4x equals 2.35 plus 0.25x. And let's bring them both over. So we're going to get 0.15x by subtracting 0.25 from both sides. And subtract the 1.75 over, you're going to get, that is 0.6. And in this case, x will then be equal to 4. And we want to know the price per pound of chicken or beef. So it doesn't matter which equation we plug it into. Let's just plug it in for 2.35 plus 0.25 times 4. So we're going to get that is equal to 2.35 plus 1. So 3.35. Answer is D. A line in the xy plane passes through the origin and has a slope of 1 over 7. Which of the following point lies on the line? Okay, so we're going to have a point at 0, 0, since it starts or goes through the origin. And then that's just 1 over 7 is your slope, which is equal to your rise over your run. And so if we start at 0, 0, we're going to go up 1 and over 7. So that's going to give us a coordinate of 7, 1. And if we go up 1 more and over 7 again, that's going to give us a coordinate of 14, 2. And that's our answer, D. Okay, if x is greater than 3, which of the following is equivalent to 1 over x plus 2 plus 1 over x plus 3? Okay, this one's going to take a second, so we're going to have to figure out the denominator here. We're going to have to multiply by a common denominator in order to combine the like terms. So we're going to have 1 over x plus 2 plus 1 over x plus 3. And I'm going to go ahead and multiply each one by the other. So x plus 3, multiply x plus 2, and x plus 2 up here, x plus 3 up here. So that'll give us x plus 3 over x plus 2, x plus 3, and plus x plus 2 over x plus 3, x plus 2. And then if we add these two equations together and expand the bottom, we're going to get 2x plus 5 over, what is that, x squared plus 5x plus 6. And since that's in the denominator, and we want to then bring it up, we just flip it, because it's just being multiplied by the inverse. So the actual answer is going to be x squared plus 5x plus 6 over 2x plus 5. So your answer has, answer is B. Okay, if 3x minus y equals 12, what is the value of 8x over 2y? Okay, so this is just understanding exponent laws. So we can say that 8 to the power of x, is equivalent to 2 raised to the third power times x over 2 to the power of y. And when you have parentheses and you're multiplying by an exponent, you're going to get that it's going to be 2 to the 3x over 2y. And when you're dividing by the same base, you can subtract the exponents. So you're just going to be left with 2 to the 3x minus y. And we're given what that is equal to. It's equal to 12. So this is going to be 2 raised to the 12th power, which is A. Okay, if ax plus 2 times bx plus 7 equals 15x squared plus cx plus 14 for all values of x, and a plus b equals 8, what are the two possible values for c? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do actually is expand this out. So we're going to get that a times b x squared plus 7ax plus 2bx plus 14. So we know that there are two x terms here, so we could say that a times b is equal to 15. And we also know that a plus b equals 8. So let's go ahead and write it as a is equal to 8 minus b. Okay, and now that we have that, let's go ahead and substitute it into our first equation here. So we know that a is equal to 8 minus b now. So b times 8 minus b. So b times 8 minus b is going to be equal to 15 in this case. And let's go ahead and expand this out. We're going to get that negative b squared plus 8b equals 15. And let's rearrange this to be b squared minus 8b plus 15. In this case, b can be equal to, let's see, it would be 5 and 3. Yeah, 5 and 3. So when b is 5, a would be 3, and when a is 5, b would be 3. So let's just go ahead and try one of them, and by plugging it into our equations here. So we can go ahead and just eliminate this 15x squared and this 14 because they'll be canceled out, because this will be a 15x squared. This abx squared term will turn into a 15x squared, and subtracting both sides, it'll eliminate that. This plus 14 going over to the other side will eliminate that 14. So you could just say that cx is equal to 7ax plus 2bx. And let's say b is equal to 5 in this case. So, and that means a would be equal to 3. So cx is equal to 21x plus 10x. Let's divide all of it by x. We get that c is equal to 21 plus 10, which is 31. And the only answer that allows that is answer D. So there's that. So for number 16, if t is greater than 0 and t squared minus 4 equals 0, what is the value of t? Okay, so let's evaluate it. Let's add 4 to both sides here. And we'll get that t squared is equal to 4, and that the square root of both sides, t is equal to plus or minus 2, but since it can only be greater than 0, t would be equal to 2 in this case. Okay, number 17. A summer camp counselor wants to find a length x in feet across the lake as represented in the sketch above. The lengths represented by AB, EB, BD, and CD on the sketch were determined to be 1,800 feet, 1,400 feet, 700 feet, and 800 feet, respectively. Segments AC and DE intersect at B, and AEB and CDB have the same measure. What is the value of x? Okay, so these are going to be similar triangles. That's pretty obvious by the wording there. So AB is 1,800 feet, and EB is 1,400 feet. BD is 700 feet, and DC or CD is 800 feet. Okay, and with similar triangles, we can make ratios out of them because that's just how that's how I would solve this similar triangle problem anyways. So we're going to get that this length and this length, the 1,400 feet and the 700 feet. 1,400 over 700 is going to be equal to this x over 800. And if you just solve for x here, we get, well, 1,400 divided by 700, that's 2. Multiply that by 800, that's 1,600. So x in this case is 1,600 feet. 1,600 feet. Okay. According to the system of equations above, what is the value of x? Okay, I'm going to do the same thing like I did before and just do an elimination. So if I just multiply each equation by, let's see, -2, not each equation, just the top one, by -2, we get a -2x minus 2y equals a positive 18. And then we'll bring down the second equation, x plus 2y equals negative 25. Those go away when you add them, and we're just going to be left with negative x is equal to, what would that be, negative 7. So x is then equal to 7. That's the answer there. It's all from jacked up. X is equal to 7. In a right triangle, one angle measures x degrees, where sine of x degrees equals 4 or 5. What is the cosine? Okay, so let's go ahead and draw our right triangle. And we have this 90 degree. And we have x here, and the sine of that would be 4 over 5. And this cosine here is going to be, so that's going to be equal to 90 minus x. And if we take the cosine of 90 minus x, we'll also get 4 over 5. So it's going to be the same in this case. And last problem, okay. If a equals 5 root 2 and 2a equals square root of 2x, what is the value of x? Okay, let's go ahead and substitute in a equal to the square root of 2x. And multiplying that 2 in there, we get a 10 square root 2 is equal to the square root of 2x. Let's square both sides. We're going to get a 100 times 2 is equal to 2x. Those 2's will go away, and your x is going to be 100.